September 19th, 1989, 9 p.m. Closing time at the Kangaroo Fuel Stop in Riverview, Florida, near Tampa. The night manager is Eileen Mangold, a 50-year-old single mother who took the job so that she could afford new school clothes for her 13-year-old son. Eileen had been working at the station for a couple of months and was on a first-name basis with most of the customers.
Oh, I hope it's still open.
Well, the light's still on inside.
Yeah, but the outside lights are on.
At 9:15 p.m., a teenage girl and her brother approached the station hoping to buy some gas. Because of the events of that night, they have asked that their real names not be used. We will call them Jim and Sharon.
I'm gonna get her to give me some gas.
Yeah, you always had a way.
As we drove up to the Kangaroo station, Eileen was walking out, and there was a man walking out behind her.
Who's that with her?
I don't know, where's she going?
I noticed her getting into her car and him getting into her car also. I thought maybe she knew him and wanted to talk with him.
The doors are still open.
Something was definitely wrong. Eileen circled the station, then pulled up next to Sharon and Jim.
Help me, please! I'm being robbed! Oh my God!
At this point, we felt very nervous and actually scared, so we went over to the pizza place to call for help.
Hey, look, the car's still there.
Jim and Sharon returned to the highway after calling police. For some mysterious reason, Eileen's car had stopped at the side of the road. Jim and Sharon watched as the car drove off. By the time police arrived in the area, Eileen was nowhere to be found.
Anything laying on the ground or anything? Anywhere's all...
5 hours later, Eileen's automobile was discovered abandoned in a residential neighborhood 2 miles from the gas station.
Later. Let me have your light. Here's a blouse or a shirt.
Eileen's blouse lay on the ground, torn and bloodstained. Blood was also found on the car, as were fingerprints, which indicated that Eileen may have been assaulted on the hood.
On the driver's seat was a button, which was determined that it did come from the blouse. This would obviously indicate that a struggle had initially occurred inside the vehicle. The only conclusions that could be derived at that point was obviously Miss Mangold was in deep trouble, and again the search remained intensified.
6 hours later, at 11 a.m., the investigators' worst fears were confirmed. The body of Eileen Mangold was found in a patch of woods approximately 5 miles from where her car had been abandoned.
It would appear that Miss Mangold was the victim of an attempted sexual assault. She is clothed only in underpants, tennis shoes, and a pair of socks. She struggled against the individual attempting the assault and subsequently was brutally beaten and killed at that location.
I just want you to tell me if anyone looks familiar to you.
Jim and Sharon were called to the police station and shown a photo lineup of possible suspects.
He looks familiar, but I'm not sure why. But I can't be sure. It was so dark.
A short time later, Sharon was at school when she was approached by a classmate she recognized, but whose name she did not know.
I'll see you later.
I have a message from somebody you know, and he just told me to tell you not to talk to the police anymore, right?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, I think you do, and he told me to tell you to be quiet with the police, okay?
Wait, who is this person?
You know who he is, and he knows who you are.
Wait.
He said to me that this was just from a friend outside, and he knew who I was, what I was doing, and where I was at all times, and that I had better not be by myself at any given time.
Police later questioned the boy at length, but have ruled him out as a possible suspect. They have also ruled out his friend, who did not match any of the physical evidence found in and around Eileen's car.
There are a number of unresolved issues on this case. Why did Miss Mangold not drive off while the suspect was inside the business taking the cash? Secondly, why did the vehicle come to a stop before proceeding south on 301? Thirdly, why was it necessary for Miss Mangold to suffer such a brutal beating which resulted in her death?
She was a fighter, definitely a fighter. She would not have willingly gone with anybody.
All right, let's go.
Unless it was under the threat of death to her child or to herself or both if she didn't go. I believe that somebody was in the back seat of the car with a weapon on her. And to me, that's the only conceivable reason why she stayed in that car when she did.
The police now believe that Eileen Mangold was murdered by someone from the Riverview area, and that she may have even been familiar with her killer. To date, authorities have questioned nearly 130 people, but have yet to develop any positive leads.
She's a statistic at this point, and I don't like that. I don't like that at all. I made her a promise when she died at her funeral that I promised her that before I died, I would do everything I possibly could to find her murderer. And that's what I'm trying to do now.
A police artist drew this sketch of the suspect based on a description provided by the two eyewitnesses. He's approximately 30 years old, 6 feet tall with a husky build. He weighs between 190 and 200 pounds and has curly blonde hair and possibly green or blue eyes. If you have any information, please contact the Hillsborough County, Florida Sheriff's Office or call our toll-free number, 1-800-876-5353.